Tell me if this sounds familiar. Someone mentions they have $1 million invested, and your brain immediately goes to a specific image: a waterfront condo, a luxury car, dinners out every night, early retirement, never checking a price tag again. Freedom. That image is wrong, not slightly wrong, fundamentally, mathematically, practically wrong, in a way that is causing millions of Canadians to either give up on investing entirely because the goal feels impossible, or to reach $1 million and then panic because the lifestyle they imagined does not match the reality waiting for them. Meet Christine. Christine is 58 years old. She lives in Kitchener. She spent 30 years as a nurse, contributing faithfully to her RRSP, maxing her TFSA every year she could, living modestly and investing the difference. Last year, she hit $1 million in invested assets. She called her daughter crying. Happy tears. She thought she had made it. 3 months later, Christine sat down with a retirement income planner. She walked out with a very different picture than the one she had carried in her head for 30 years. Her $1 million, structured correctly, generates approximately $3,200 to $4,100 per month in sustainable income. Before tax, in Kitchener, where the average one-bedroom apartment now rents for $1,800. That is not poverty. That is not a crisis. Christine is genuinely okay. But it is also not the waterfront condo and the luxury car. It is a comfortable, careful, intentional life, which is beautiful. But it is not what the word millionaire used to mean. Today I am going to show you the real picture, the actual math, the monthly income, the lifestyle it supports in 5 Canadian cities, and the exact path to get there, because understanding what $1 million actually does is the most motivating thing you can know about money. Here is what we are covering. Chapter 1. The $1 million math. What $1 million actually generates in monthly income, and why the answer depends almost entirely on how it is structured. Chapter 2. The account type multiplier. Why $1 million in a TFSA and $1 million in an RRSP are not the same thing, and the difference in real monthly take-home income is staggering. Chapter 3. The CPP and OAS boost. The 2 government income streams that transform what a $1 million portfolio can actually support, and why timing them correctly changes everything. Chapter 4. The City Reality Check. What $1 million actually looks like as a retirement lifestyle in Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax, and a small Ontario town. Real rent, real groceries, real math. Chapter 5. The Sequence of Returns Trap. The risk nobody talks about that can destroy a $1 million portfolio in the first 5 years of retirement, and the exact strategy to protect against it. And Chapter 6, the one I have been building toward, the $1 million blueprint. The exact monthly contribution at the exact return, starting at the exact age that gets a regular Canadian to $1 million, with the specific accounts in the specific order. I'm Grace from Money Glow Up. This is education, not financial advice. Always speak with a licensed financial planner before making retirement income decisions. Let's get into it. Let's start with the number everyone wants to know. How much income does $1 million in investments actually generate? The answer comes from something called the safe withdrawal rate, the percentage of your portfolio you can withdraw each year with a high probability of never running out of money over a 30-year retirement. The most widely cited research, the Trinity study, updated multiple times since its 1998 publication, suggests a 4% annual withdrawal rate is sustainable for a 30-year retirement with a diversified stock and bond portfolio. Canadian researchers have validated this broadly for Canadian investors, with some suggesting 3.5% is more conservative given Canadian market conditions and longevity trends. Let's run both numbers. at 4% withdrawal rate. $1 million times 4% equals $40,000 per year. $40,000 divided by 12 equals $3,333 per month, before tax. At 3.5% withdrawal rate, $1 million times 3.5% equals $35,000 per year. $35,000 divided by 12 equals $2,917 per month, before tax. Let that sit for a moment. $1 million, the number that feels like the finish line, generates between $2,917 and $3,333 per month before tax. In a country where the average Canadian rent for a two-bedroom apartment is now over $2,100. This is not a reason to give up. This is a reason to understand. Because the $1 million number is not wrong. It is simply incomplete without understanding what surrounds it. 3 things dramatically change this picture. 1. The account type. Where your $1 million lives determines how much of it you actually keep after tax. $1 million in a TFSA and $1 million in an RRSP produce very different after-tax monthly incomes. We will cover this in detail in Chapter 2. 2. CPP and OAS. Most Canadians approaching retirement have CPP and OAS coming, government income streams that stack on top of the portfolio withdrawal. Combined, these can add $1,500 to $2,500 per month. Suddenly, the picture looks very different. 3. Paid-off home. A Canadian retiree who owns their home outright has eliminated their largest expense. The $3,333 per month that sounds tight in a rented apartment becomes remarkably comfortable when you have no rent or mortgage payment. Now here is the question nobody asks loudly enough. What if your goal is not $1 million flat, but the specific monthly income number that supports the specific life you want to live? Because for most Canadians, the target is not actually a number. It is a feeling, a level of freedom, a quality of life. Let's work backward from the lifestyle and figure out what it actually requires. This is the chapter that changes how you think about every dollar you invest from this point forward. $1 million is not always $1 million in retirement income. Where that money lives determines how much of it you actually get to spend. Scenario A, $1 million in a TFSA. You withdraw $40,000 per year, the full 4%, and pay exactly $0 in income tax. The CRA cannot touch TFSA withdrawals. Every dollar is yours. $40,000 per year. $3,333 per month. After tax, take home, done. And here is the beautiful bonus. TFSA withdrawals do not count as income. They do not affect your OAS clawback calculation. They do not push you into a higher tax bracket. They are completely invisible to the CRA. Your $40,000 withdrawal combined with CPP and OAS might keep your taxable income low enough to qualify for the GIS, the Guaranteed Income Supplement, which adds another layer of government support. Scenario B, $1 million in an RRSP or RRIF. You withdraw $40,000 per year. Now the CRA is very interested. Every dollar is taxable income. At $40,000 of RRIF income combined with CPP and OAS, your total retirement income could easily reach $60,000 to $70,000. In Ontario, at $65,000 income, your marginal rate is approximately 29%. Your effective rate on the overall income is lower, but you are still paying $8,000 to $12,000 per year in income tax. Your $40,000 RRIF withdrawal nets you approximately $30,000 to $32,000 after tax, $2,500 to $2,667 per month, same million, different accounts, $800 per month difference in take-home income. Over 20 years of retirement, That $800 per month difference is $192,000 in real spending power. This is why the RRSP meltdown strategy we covered in a previous video is so important. Draining your RRSP at low tax rates before retirement and moving the after-tax proceeds into your TFSA is not just tax planning. It is the difference between a $3,333 per month retirement and a $2,500 per month retirement on the same invested million. Scenario C, $1 million split between TFSA, RRSP, and non-registered. This is the most common real-world scenario. Christine's million is approximately $420,000 in her TFSA, fully tax-free. $380,000 in her RRSP, now a RRIF, generating mandatory withdrawals. $200,000 in a non-registered account, generating dividends and capital gains taxed at preferential rates. Her effective blended tax rate on withdrawals, approximately 14%. Her after-tax monthly income from the portfolio, approximately $2,850, plus CPP plus OAS. More on that next. Here's the part of the million-dollar picture that most people forget to include. And it is the part that makes the biggest difference. The Canadian government provides two retirement income streams that stack directly on top of your portfolio withdrawals. For most Canadians who have worked for 30 to 35 years, these two programs transform the retirement math entirely. CPP, Canada Pension Plan. CPP is based on your contributions and earnings throughout your working career. The maximum CPP payment at age 65 in 2025 is approximately $1,364 per month. The average Canadian who has worked a full career receives approximately $800 to $1,000 per month. But here is the strategic insight. Every year you delay CPP past 65, up to age 70, your payment increases by 8.4% permanently. Someone receiving $900 per month at 65 would receive $1,269 per month at 70. That is a 41% larger payment every single month for the rest of their life. If you have $1 million portfolio and can draw it down from 65 to 70 while deferring CPP, the lifetime income boost from the delay is almost always worth it. OAS, Old Age Security. OAS in 2025 pays approximately $718 per month at age 65. It can also be deferred to 70, increasing by 7.2% per year, for a maximum payment of approximately $1,026 per month. OAS is clawed back if your income exceeds approximately $90,997 in 2025. This is where the account structure matters enormously. TFSA withdrawals don't count toward this threshold. RRIF withdrawals do. Christine's combined income picture. Portfolio withdrawal, blended after tax, $2,850 per month. CPP, deferred to 68, $1,100 per month. OAS, started at 65, $718 per month. Total monthly retirement income, $4,668 per month. After tax. That is a genuinely comfortable Canadian retirement. In Kitchener specifically, where Christine lives, that is a very good life. Not a luxury penthouse, not a private jet, but dinner out twice a week, travel twice a year, a paid-off house, a reliable car, and enough to help her grandchildren occasionally. That is what $1 million actually looks like in Canada, when you combine it with the full picture. Okay, let's get specific. Because $1 million retirement in Toronto and $1 million retirement in Antigonish, Nova Scotia, are two completely different experiences. I am going to run Christine's $4,668 per month against 5 Canadian cities, using real 2025 cost of living data. Owned home assumed, mortgage-free, because the math changes dramatically with rent. Toronto. Average property tax on a paid-off $900,000 home, $6,500 per year, $541 per month. Utilities, $350 per month. Groceries for two, $900 per month. Transportation, one car, insurance, gas, $800 per month. Healthcare extras, dental, prescriptions, $250 per month. Discretionary, dining, entertainment, travel savings, $800 per month. Total essential expenses, $3,641 per month. Surplus, $1,027 per month. Comfortable, not lavish, Vancouver. Property tax on paid-off $1.2 million home, $8,000 per year, $667 per month. Utilities, $280 per month. Groceries for two, $950 per month. Transportation, $700 per month. Lower car costs in transit-friendly areas. Healthcare, $250 per month. Discretionary, $800 per month. Total, $3,647 per month. Surplus, $1,021 per month. Similar to Toronto. Tight but comfortable. Calgary. Property tax on paid-off $650,000 home, $4,200 per year, $350 per month. Utilities, $320 per month. Higher heating costs. Groceries, $850 per month. Transportation, $750 per month. Healthcare, $200 per month. Discretionary, $900 per month. Total, $3,370 per month. Surplus, $1,298 per month. More breathing room. No provincial income tax advantage helps. Halifax. Property tax on paid-off $500,000 home, $3,600 per year, $300 per month. Utilities, $350 per month. Groceries, $800 per month. Transportation, $650 per month. Healthcare, $200 per month. Discretionary, $900 per month. Total, $3,200 per month. Surplus, $1,468 per month. Best value of the major cities. Growing community. Increasingly popular retirement destination. Small Ontario town. Pembroke, Belleville, Owen Sound. Property tax on $350,000 home. $3,200 per year. $267 per month. Utilities, $300 per month. Groceries, $750 per month. Transportation, $600 per month. One car essential. Healthcare, $200 per month. Discretionary, $1,000 per month. Total, $3,117 per month. Surplus, $1,551 per month. Most comfortable lifestyle on $1 million portfolio. The trade-off, distance from major city amenities. The pattern is clear. $1 million portfolio with CPP and OAS provides a genuinely comfortable Canadian retirement in every city if the home is paid off. The city determines how comfortable it is. The home determines whether it works at all. This is the risk nobody talks about when they dream about hitting $1 million, and it is the one that has derailed more Canadian retirements than any other single factor. It is called sequence of returns risk. And here is how it works. Imagine two retirees. Both start with $1 million. Both withdraw 4% per year, $40,000. Both experience the exact same average return over 20 years, 7% per year. Everything is identical. Except, one retiree experiences bad returns in the first 5 years, then good returns later. The other experiences good returns first then bad returns later. Their ending balances after 20 years are completely different. One runs out of money. The other has $1.8 million. The math is brutal and counterintuitive. When you are withdrawing from a portfolio that is simultaneously dropping in value, you are selling shares at depressed prices to fund your lifestyle. Those shares cannot participate in the eventual recovery. The damage is permanent. This is why retiring in 2007, just before the global financial crisis, on a $1 million portfolio was a very different experience than retiring in 2012, right after the recovery. 3 strategies protect against sequence of returns risk. Strategy 1, the cash buffer. Keep 2 to 3 years of living expenses in cash or a high-interest savings account. When markets drop, you draw from the cash buffer, not the portfolio. You give the portfolio time to recover without being forced to sell at depressed prices. Strategy 2, the bond tent. In the 5 years before and 5 years after retirement, gradually increase your bond allocation. This reduces portfolio volatility during the most vulnerable window. After 10 years of retirement, gradually shift back toward equities as the sequence risk window has passed. Strategy 3, flexible spending. In years when markets drop significantly, reduce discretionary spending by 10 to 20%. Delay the vacation, skip the renovation, spend from the cash buffer. The portfolio recovers. You resume normal spending. This behavioral flexibility is worth tens of thousands of dollars over a retirement. Christine's advisor built all 3 into her retirement plan. Her 2-year cash buffer sits in EQ Bank's high-interest savings. Her RRIF holds a 40% bond allocation during the early retirement years, and she has identified $600 per month of discretionary spending she can pause in any year the market drops more than 15%. Okay, let's make this real. Can a regular Canadian on a regular salary actually get to $1 million? Yes. Here is exactly how. The math I am about to show you uses conservative assumptions: 8% average annual return, current TFSA, and RRSP contribution limits, no windfalls, no inheritance. Starting at age 25, the power of time. Monthly TFSA contribution, $583. That is the full $7,000 annual limit divided by 12. Monthly RRSP contribution, $400. Total monthly investment, $983. At 8% average return, by age 60, $1,420,000, 35 years, $983 per month, $1 million. Starting at age 35, still very achievable. Monthly TFSA, $583. Monthly RRSP, $600. Total, $1,183 per month. At 8%, by age 65, $1,050,000. 30 years, $1,183 per month. Still $1 million. Starting at age 45 requires more but still possible. Monthly TFSA, $583. Monthly RRSP, $1,100. Total, $1,683 per month. At 8%, by age 65, $980,000. 20 years, $1,683 per month, just under $1 million, but combined with CPP and OAS, still a very comfortable retirement. The account order for maximum efficiency. Step 1, FHSA first if you are a first-time buyer. $8,000 per year. Double tax benefit, non-negotiable first priority. Step 2, TFSA, $7,000 per year. Maximum growth assets, XEQT or VEQT, touch nothing for 30 years. Step 3, RRSP, especially powerful in high-income years. Use the refund flywheel. Reinvest every refund into the TFSA. Step 4. Non-registered last. Only after everything else is maxed. Tax-efficient Canadian dividend ETFs. The specific investment for each account. TFSA and FHSA. XEQT. Global equities. 0.17% MER. Automatic rebalancing. RRSP. VFV. USS&P 500. Treaty protected from IRS withholding. Non-registered. VDY. Canadian dividends. Dividend tax credit applies. The timeline check-in. At what point does a regular Canadian cross the $1 million threshold on $983 per month at 8%? Year 10, age 35, $181,000. Year 20, age 45, $583,000. Year 25, age 50, $878,000. Year 28, age 53, $1 million. The $1 million milestone arrives at age 53 for someone who starts at 25 and contributes $983 per month. Then it keeps growing. By 60, $1,420,000. By 65, $2,100,000. The million is not the finish line. It is the momentum point. The moment the compound interest is generating more wealth per year than your contributions. The moment money starts working harder than you do. Christine reached her million at 58. She is not living in a waterfront condo. She is living in a paid-off house in Kitchener with $4,668 per month in income, 2 international trips planned for next year, and 0 financial stress for the first time in her adult life. That is what $1 million actually looks like in Canada. Not a fantasy, not a disappointment. A real, comfortable, intentional life. Built one $983 monthly contribution at a time. Here is the real takeaway. $1 million in investments is not the number that buys you the fantasy. It is the number that buys you freedom from financial stress. In a paid-off home, in a city you can afford, combined with CPP and OAS, structured across the right accounts. That is worth everything. And it is achievable for most Canadians who start early enough and stay consistent long enough. The waterfront condo is a different number. Maybe $3 million, maybe $4 million, depending on where you want to live. Now you know, set the right goal. Build toward it with the right accounts. Understand the income it will actually generate. And stop letting a misunderstood number either paralyze you or disappoint you. Christine is fine. More than fine. She just had to let go of the fantasy and embrace the reality, which turned out to be better than she feared and different from what she imagined. I'm Grace. This is Money Glow Up, and I'll see you in the next one.